Are holding companies only for rental LLCs, or can they hold an active business LLC? This is where I get my handy dandy pen out, and we're going to walk you through this. The reason that we typically have a holding LLC is because we'll have a bunch of LLCs in different states or holding different assets. And let's say each one held a little house. Pretend those are houses. And you have the holding LLC. Here's you out here smiling. If somebody comes after you, then we want to stop them. And usually we use a Wyoming holding entity or a Nevada entity because they cannot take the LLC away. The other reason is it makes a single entity for taxation if you're doing a 1065, a partnership. So we only have one tax return. If this house down here has a horrible liability occurrence, it stays inside that box. It doesn't infect the other boxes. Now, what if I own shares in IBM? And I own a bunch of IBM shares. Should I put that into the holding company too? You could. The problem is let's say that they make an argument that you should have, that they should ignore. We had this piece of property, and they make an argument that somehow you should ignore the LLC because you forgot to do some paperwork, or they start trying to pick through it in court, and they're trying to get to this guy up here. They don't know about these. If you have a bunch of stock sitting in the Wyoming entity and they start doing discovery, you may put yourself at risk on losing that, because if they break through and they get into the holding, then they could perhaps take it. Now, it's highly unlikely. So it's always a facts and circumstance test as to how aggressive you want to be in your asset protection planning. This, to me, looks like you have some assets. Is it worth putting your stock at risk? It depends on how much it's worth. If it's $50,000 of a private company, or if it's $5 million, I'm going to give you two different answers. If it's just, hey, this is just my corporation, and I have a C Corp or an S, it's going to be a C Corp. It's not going to be an S, because an S Corp has to be owned by you. But let's say we have a C Corp that's owned by you, and you put it in there. No, really, no harm, no foul, because nobody's going to want your corporation stock anywhere. You're using it, probably you're keeping it fairly lean. So you can do both. It's just whether it's prudent to do both is really up to you as to what you're willing to risk.